Finally got my hands on an Erebus. This is the Origin, which is sold out on their website. They did very well with this one, so much so that it launched a bunch of other ones. They have a 38 mil. They have a GMT one that's out right now, which looks great. It's very similar to this, but adds the GMT function. So who is this? I mean, most of you guys already know. If you're a watch enthusiast, you already know. These two guys right here, they come up with the brand, the designs, and it's been a success so far. So this is Jody from Just One More Watch YouTube channel. Great channel, big channel. And then his buddy Stevie. Thank you guys, I guess, for creating a great looking watch at a great price. These were only $299. The GMT one's what, $329 or something like that? So they're well within the reasonable, affordable price point, high value option for what you're getting out of the watch. So let's just be clear about that. I checked it out. I like what I see. They're also kind of safe, I guess, other than the colors. And that's probably a smart way to go. Because as soon as you start getting crazy and doing all kinds of weird things, your potential buying power, selling power just drops way down. There's not as many customers as you would get with these quintessential looking divers. So what am I talking about, quintessential diver? I'm talking about the measurements and the looks. So the case is 41 millimeter. Actually, it's not. I measured at 40.7. So I think they say 40 and a half. So I measure 40.7, the lug to lug 47, the thickness 12.9. So it's even thinner than the iconic Seiko SKX, which is at 13 and a half. The lug opening here is 20 millimeter. The bracelet, H-link, nice, tapers down to 18. And you have a simple fold over double push clasp with an on-the-fly toolless micro adjust. So very well done. The hardware, nice screw pins. I did take a couple of them out. They look clean. I see no corrosion on them, and they went in and out of the links perfect. I had no problems with it. I only say that because I had read some things that people were having problems with them. On this particular model, I see no problems with it. Purchase date of sometime this year. I can't read that. 5/8/24, something like that. 7 millimeter signed screw down crown, and with all of the links, weighs in at 174 grams, has a nice little weight to it. 200 meter water resist, as long as you keep that screwed in. And the movement inside, automatic, Seiko, powerful, good quality movement. Three-handed date option is the NH35. The bezel action on this, 120 click, unidirectional. One of the best feeling bezels I've handled at, say, the $1,500 in price and down. So this watch, with most of its specs and everything, punch above its price point for sure. BGW9 Lume is going to be great. I haven't even looked at it. We're going to flash it with the UV light and check it out together. I will say that there are some sharp edges that feel less refined. They're not going to create any hot spots or anything like that. And if I really wanted to, like if this were my watch, I would take some very fine sandpaper and just gently rub it across the edge of each angle. And that's all you have to do. It's just, most people are afraid to do it. I am not. If it's a watch that I love, I've done it to an Omega. Omega was probably worse than this on the clasp. And I softened it up a bit and it wore way better. Has quick release spring bars on there. Has a nice looking case back with the logo. Let's pop it on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. That's what I'm saying. This is a safe size looking quality diver for the price point. This is why they're so successful, because they have a good product at a great price and it's universally accepted. The only time you're going to get crazy is some of the crazy colors, which honestly, at these price points and this diver, some watch enthusiasts are going to gravitate towards the purples, the yellows, the oranges, and those wild colors. I know I do. I would never, I shouldn't say never. It's very unlikely that I would buy a black dial diver from a micro brand. I could almost say never. It could happen, I suppose. But I like to celebrate the flexibility that micro brands possess, meaning they have Obviously, they have to make sure they make a product that people are going to want, but they have the flexibility to design a little more experimental in smaller batches, and I like to take part of that. You can see a really nice texture dial on this, super legible handset framed in with the white and then the square seconds hand there kind of ties in and just barely clips the edge of those hour markers. So that stuff like that, when you really start to look at your watches and closely examine them, I guarantee you those things like that do not happen accidentally. Those are things that the designers tend to look at. I'm sure occasionally accidentally they'll just nail things, but more often than not, it's done intentional and we just take it for granted. So the way the seconds hand comes all the way to the edge and touches the red outer track, and then that square just kind of lays over the edges of everything else, that's all intentional. I like it. Let's give it a quick blast with the UV light. Won't take much. We'll turn off the studio lights and check this out. The other thing about microbrands is they are just extremely liberal with the Lume application, and they have access to incredible formulas that it seems like everybody would have, but I see major brands fall short of what some of the microbrands are able to accomplish in the dark. Interesting. Thanks for watching, and again, big thanks to my friend Fedora Gent, aka his real name's John, for sending this over and allowing me to check it out so you can see the watch from my perspective. I'll see you on the next one.